National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine is an advisory state body to the President of Ukraine, locally referred by its abbreviation RNBO. It is a state agency tasked with developing a policy of national security on domestic and international matters and advising the President of Ukraine. All the sessions of the Council take place in the Presidential Administration Building. The Council is currently headed by Oleksandr Turchynov. History. Defense Council. The Defense Council was created by the provision of Supreme Council of Ukraine 1658-12 on October 11, 1991. Defense Council was defined as the highest state body of collegiate governing on matters of defense and security of Ukraine with following goals: protection of sovereignty, constitutional order, territorial integrity and inviolability of republic, develop strategies and continuous improvement of policy in sphere of defense and state security, comprehensive scientific assessment of the military threat nature, determining position toward modern warfare, effective control over the execution of the tasks of the state and its institutions, keeping defense capabilities of Ukraine at the level of defense sufficiency. On January 23, 1992, the President of Ukraine appointed Myroslav Vitovsky as a Secretary of the Defense Council, a position which Vitovsky held until November 30, 1995. Initial composition: Chairman of the Supreme Council of Ukraine, Prime Minister of Ukraine, Head of Commission of the Supreme Council of Ukraine on Issues of Defense and State Security of Ukraine, State Minister on Issues of Defense, National Security and Emergency Situations in Ukraine, State Minister on Issues of Defense Complex and Conversion of Ukraine, Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, Director of the Security Service of Ukraine, Commander of Border Troops of Ukraine, Commander of the National Guard of Ukraine, Chief of Staff of the Civil Defense of Ukraine. After the establishment and elections of the President of Ukraine, the composition of the Council was reformed on April 9, 1992 by a provision of the Verkhovna Rada. President of Ukraine, Chairman of the Supreme Council of Ukraine, Prime Minister of Ukraine, First Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council of Ukraine, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Minister of Internal Affairs of Ukraine, Minister of Machine Building, Military Industrial Complex and Conversion of Ukraine, Chief of the Security Service of Ukraine, Commander of the National Guard of Ukraine, Commander of the Border Guard Service of Ukraine, National Security Council. The Council was originally created under temporary provision on July 3, 1992 as the National Security Council, but significantly revamped and strengthened under President Leonid Kuchma in 1994. The Council was headed by a presidential advisor in national security matters. July 1, 1992 – April 19, 1993 Volodymyr Selivanov, before November 19, 1992 as State Advisor of Ukraine on national security matters. December 1, 1993 – August 5, 1994 Valery Kartovzyev. August 5, 1994 – November 10, 1999 Volodymyr Horbil, and since October 17, 1994 as Secretary of National Security Council, Advisor of the President of Ukraine on national security matters. On August 23, 1994, President of Ukraine adopted new provision for the Council. After the adaptation of the Constitution of Ukraine on June 28, 1996, the provisions of the Council were outlined in the Article 107. Thus the National Security Council was merged with the already existing Defense Council of Ukraine and was adapted by the Presidential Edict on August 30, 1996. Current membership composition. Beside the President and his First Secretary, the Council consists also of the Prime Minister of Ukraine, the Minister of Defense, the Head of Security Service of Ukraine, the Minister of Internal Affairs, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The head of the Council is the President of Ukraine, assisted by a Secretary whom he is allowed to appoint. In the absence of existing President of Ukraine, such as between elections, the acting chairman of the Council is the Prime Minister. The chairman of the Verkhovna Rada is not a member of the Council, but he or she is allowed to participate in the meetings. Members of the Council may also be other chairmen of government bodies of the executive branch. Any other individual is only allowed by the special invitation from the chairman of the Council. In June 2014, President Petro Poroshenko reshuffled the membership of the Council. If a president resigns, the chairman of the Verkhovna Rada will be the acting head of the National Security and Defense Council. List of government institutions. Office of President. Government of Ukraine. National Law Enforcement Agency. National Security Agency. National Defense Agency. National Agency on Foreign Policy. Representative of the Council's Secretariat. Representative of National Legislation. Representative of the Public Prosecutor Office. Representative of the National Bank of Ukraine. Representative of the Presidential Administration of Ukraine. Employees. According to former Secretary Andriy Kliuyev, 460 people worked at the Council in 2010, while the April 2012 number of employees was 90. President Viktor Yanukovych limited the number of employees of the Council to 180 employees on 9 April 2012.